Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Kenn Bosak.
First, you either tune in or tune out, but either way, you're gonna get loony with us. How goes it, bros?
Yo, what up? How goes it? Welcome. Yeehaw, muffos.
Yeah, man. We got a portal to the fourth dimension, to the reality world. This portal is pulling in our guest today, Identity Block. We're going to be talking about Pulse. Going to be talking about Hex. We're going to be talking about what's next. Miggy, thank you, my co-host with the most host. How goes it, bro?
It's going pretty good, man. Super pumped, had a great consensus, and to follow up with a good week of awesome guests and finishing off this Friday to see what we can get into this weekend and prepare for the next events. Super stoked to see who we got on for next week, but I think we're going to be lining up some great guests, and just super stoked that you could be here with us. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us.
You guys, thank you for having me. Just been enjoying the fireworks that are happening in over crypto. Some of the stuff happening with the regulators and all that. It's been interesting lately, and seeing what's next.
Yeah, today's been a crazy day. I don't know. Everyone's trying to blame Roaring Kitty for this dip, and then everyone's mad at Andrew Tate for burning $11 million. And I'm just trying to keep up with today alone. Just what the fuck is... has Iggy, like, shown her hole yet? Have we seen the hole? Have we all looked into the brown eye? Is that the top?
I'm pretty sure she has an OnlyFans, so yeah.
No way.
She's
Someone's
trolling
seen
the
it.
Tally.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
That's harassment. That's not trolling. It's sexual harassment.
That's hilarious.
She's not
Yeah,
smart enough to flirt with him without it being harassment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it almost looked
What-
like a little bit of bullying.
What dimension are we in, guys? What happened?
Yeah, dude, he's like trying to fuck Vitalik, bro, to take his V card. The $1 trillion V card, bro. That is, yeah,
Oh,
that's.
gosh.
Oh God!
Oh,
So, I guess if you'd like, man, introduce yourself to the audience, please. Let them know a little bit of how you got into crypto. Is always an interesting, thing to start with, and then let people know how you got to become the president of the Pulse Chain Foundation, bro. That's like a literal started from the bottom. Now we're here. The president is with us.
You're like, I learned everything I know from the Bosak. So wow, how everything started. I mean, like, I've been in crypto for a minute. I've been been helping as much as I can. I used to be admins for Bosak. I used to be admins, or still am, for Chris Rice Crypto. For many of the the OGs that I stopped probably following, I want to say in like 2019, when I just went and dedicated myself fully to what we were doing for the Hex community. We're doing a lot of content for Hex. My content is very, I would say, boring. Like, I try to focus more on like the regulation, more on like the taxation portion of crypto that I know a lot of people don't agree. But I noticed in probably 2014, whenever they changed Bitcoin into property and then they started taxating it that way, that there was a lot of confusion in the ecosystem. And not many people even cared about taxes, paid taxes, this, that, and the other. But then every so often, they needed to, for whatever reason, either because they wanted to, either because good old Uncle Sam came them with a CP2000 letter from Coinbase in 2017, or something like that. And then I went down that rabbit hole. Like, I just started learning as much as possible about crypto taxes, taxation, forms 8949, the 1099s, K, B, or now the new one, the DA. So that interests me, and then I guess I went that route. That was like my little focus, so as everyone was just doing crypto content, I was just working with my clients that way and doing just forensics, doing a little bit of, thankfully I haven't done that much audits for my clients, so it seems like everything that we've done so far has been solid. So that was like my thing. And then, of course, helping as many of you guys as possible. That was my other thing. Like, I used to, be like the little troll in the chats, putting like my little, like my peace sign in my Hank 10. And then,
Nice.
that's been like my thing. And I want to say probably in it was 2017 that I started. I used to follow, I don't know if you guys remember, Bitcoin Uncensored and Krista Rose.
Man,
so I used to be
oh, dude, Krista Rose,
Yeah.
good callback.
Whoa.
And so I used to watch him a lot because you remember he was very contrarian, very like controversial, like Bosak pretty much. And then and then one day he had RH. He had Richard probably now 7 years ago. Like, I remember it was like May of 2017. And after that, I just started following RH and some of the stuff that he was doing, some of the stuff that he was talking about. And then, back then we were more focused on, at least me, I was following like the crowd for like Bitcoin Private. I don't know if you guys remember that. catastrophe from Red and
Nice.
some of the stuff that was happening then. And then from that, I jumped to like Prime Coin because then he was going to do some like Bitcoin Prime fork thing that never took off in 2018. And after that, I focused more on Hex. You know, at that point, I think RH was going to launch like this token called the CFT token, Computer Fluid Dynamics, so CFD token, and that didn't launch. And then later he had the idea for Bitcoin Hex, that turned into Hex, and now it's been all these years. You know, I've been in the community now 7 years between like the original Strafe Chat, RH calls, Sci-Vibe, Bitcoin Hex, Hex Trading, Hex Bear. I mean, all the groups, you know, like the Hex Spanish. I pretty much like run my own little community that we call the Hex Militia. So shout out to the guys, and then we've been just doing a little bit of everything. Then to jump on what you mentioned, the whole idea of the Bitcoin, not the Bitcoin Foundation, the Pulse Chain Foundation. Of course, we followed some of the stuff that, you know, Brock has done with the Bitcoin Foundation, the ELS guys, and some of the stuff that's happened with the Ethereum Foundation. And then I remember in the summer, RH got a Wales notice from the SEC, so that's a current situation that they has to deal with right now in relation to how Hex was launched, Pulse Chain was deployed, and you know, the whole sacrifice, as we call it. So that's a situation that he's dealing with now in October. He's going to have to the SEC in New York, and well, in court. And then I just remember I was like, you know what? Maybe we need to do something. You know, have some type of independent entity that, you know, a couple of the OGs, some of the people that I know are going to be here for the next 5, 10, 15 years. We could, you know, help the community. Even if it's just, let's do memes, let's do outreach, let's just go on YouTube and talk about the things that we like. So at first it was kind of something that was a little disorganized. But then I was like, you know what, maybe if I just go all in, you know, just register the LLC, request the 501c3 exemption and all this stuff. And then I was like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's see if we can help the community. I know I'm going to be here for the next 15 years. So I was like, you know what, let's go. And then I contacted some of the OGs that I know that, like I said, they've been here for a while, or I've worked with them doing their crypto taxes or something. So there's a little bit of, you know, trust, or I know that they're going to be with us for the long term. And I was like, you know what, this is the crew that I need to bring in. You know, there's not that many people that think long term in crypto, you know, especially if they're thinking, you know what, maybe these little bags that I have right now, maybe they can turn into a couple of comas, and then what? You know, like a lot of people don't prepare for that, and then by the time it does happen, they do bring in the comas, and then they're like, oh crap, my state charged me an extra 8% in taxes, or this or that or the other. So depending on the location or jurisdiction that they're in, they don't have a plan B. And then we were trying to bring that to some of our community members, you know, that way they could deduct with some of their donations. We could bring in some funding through grants and help with education that as well, because our main focus is just outreach and education on Pulse Chain. Like it's just what our main focus is. And we think it's super important. Like right now we continue to see a little bit of change when it comes to the regulators, but most of the things that the regulators are offering right now, it's not something that I like. You know, like it's not real DeFi. People don't control their own keys. It's more focused for either BlackRock or Coinbase or, you know, other centralized exchanges, not to throw specific names, but it's just people are not going to be controlling their own crypto. And see that the regulators continue to kind of go that route, like the self-custody route, because it's almost not even talked about. And then when it is, it's almost like a little bit of controversial subject, almost like we're doing something illegal or nefarious. And I was like, hey, I don't have a problem with paying you guys taxes, but it's like, I don't think that I should be telling everything that I have. Like, I mean, like right now, if I have $25 in my pocket or whatever, I don't tell someone like, hey, I got $25 right here, like, or something. And it seems like that's like the route that they're trying to go. I kind of wanted to mention that the other day because I used to joke with Bosak all the time. Because I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about taxes, and I think that Ken would always think that I was like one of these guys, like, yeah, let's pay taxes or like stuff like that. I was like, no. It means like, how do we figure out how to pay zero taxes or no taxes and do it legally? There's legal tax avoidance, not illegal tax evasion, and it's all things that we can do. And yeah, I guess that's the main reason why we created this, and we're just thinking, what if we need like a separate entity that could take over some type of decisions in the community, maybe marketing, maybe like, I don't know. I was just thinking the way it happened, everything was just so quick back in August when you received all those like notices and all that, and I was like, all right, let me just do it. F it.
Right. That's hilarious. I never really knew anything about Pulse or Hex or anything the only thing I ever heard about it was when when I met Kenn and he told me about the locked up Hex that he had and how he locked it up for 15 years and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, you're gonna be like a trillionaire whenever you get a hold of that money. Let me borrow $1 million.
The joke could be, though, I could be a trillionaire, and that just might be enough to pay for my rent that year. You know what I mean? Like, that could be the joke on all of us.
That could happen. I remember I used to tell a lot of people, I was like, hey, guys, that the units, if you have, a couple of million units, 10 million units, 50 million, whatever units, depending on how the fiat affects that, we might be extracting value out of those stakes in a completely different monetary system. We don't even know. Like, it might be so, debased at that point, the U.S. dollar, that, what Kenn is saying is really important. You might be able to extract $1 billion, but then if buying McDonald's costs like a couple $1 million, then all of a sudden so that's really important that we talked about all that, because Hex is affected in very different like dynamic ways. It's not just the interest that you make or the units you receive or the T-share rate as it goes, and it's always ratcheting up, but then the effects of fiat. And that was the main reason that I logged as far as possible, because once I understood how Hex works, I was like, oh, wow,
you know what
this
the problem
is the tool that I was always looking. Yeah, bro.
The problem is we don't live long enough to see the situation that the economy is in, right? Like, dude, if my great-grandfather was still alive to see how much milk costs, that's the only thing that dude would talk about all day long is, yo, I can't believe how much milk costs right now. You guys are crazy. We should be protesting how much milk costs. Milk should not cost this much money. But he didn't live long enough to get to that point, right? And I think that's what the governments are really banking on, literally banking on, the fact that we don't fucking live long enough to really take in our surroundings in this economy, to how fucked shit truly is for the next generation. We can't look past ourselves and our kids. That's it. We got 2 generations we can keep our eye on, and we can sort of stomach the fact that, like, the cost of a car used to be able to buy you a house like 40 years ago. Somehow we can stomach that. But if you looked at like what a nickel used to get you and what a nickel does not get you anymore, bro, like, it's crazy, right? So I think that's the real key, is if you zoom out, like literally zoom out, not just looking at the Bitcoin chart, but look at the American economy, the world economy in general, and just see like the state that it is in and the direction that it is going, and compare that to even your least favorite shitcoins chart. This is a hostile takeover. Cryptocurrency is here to disrupt. It's not here to fix the banking economy. It's not here to fix any government's economy. It's here to replace that shit and let them know their shit is obsolete. They better start mining crypto if they want to get taxation, because they're only getting taxes through transaction fees moving forward.
Dude, that's crazy that you say that, because not even like 3 days ago, I saw them talking in Washington, and basically what you're saying, it was like perfect, because like 5 years ago, I used to watch them too. I've been like following them for like 10 years, and it was just a different set of politicians, but they were exactly as confused. And I was thinking, you know what they need to do? They're trying to they keep focusing on how do we tax this, how do we track that. I was like, if they're smart, they just launch their own decks. And then that way they make some money through fees.
Will get there.
But then they let everything else go.
They just have to get the paperwork in place that will let them use the pre-existing tax revenue that they have from the fiat economy, right? Like if they're allowed to use the fiat tax money to build infrastructure to leave the fiat world and dip a toe into the cryptocurrency by building mining infrastructure, running nodes, stuff like that, like starting lightning channels for Bitcoin.
I don't want government touching mining, though. Like government touching mining, because it's just you figure that government just fucks everything up.
That's going to be the word that changes, though. See, so government doesn't governance, right? So I guess like instead of calling it the government, they're going to have to change their branding because they're not governmenting shit, they're governancing it. There's a big difference between being a government and a governance, right? Like we are more involved in governance, and I think that's what they're going to have to realize is they can't really force much. They're just going to have to create options, and we really truly will be voting on A, B, or C, right? Like, so I think we have to let the government that exists today use all the tax money they have to build their raft away from fiat. Like, get away from the Federal Reserve and rug pull the Federal Reserve. We have to help our government rug pull the Fed. That's what we need to do. We have to have zero ill will if the government says, look...
Yeah, but they want to work with them. The problem that I see is just they want to work with them.
But they don't have to. They don't even have to. It's a private business. They could easily say, we don't fuck with you.
They can remove them.
That's all they have to say. Not even remove. They just go, keep doing you, but we don't fuck with you. You can sell money to the Monopoly game boards and shit.
Yeah, that's how it was supposed to be. The government
I think our government should be using the Federal Reserve's money, like that airdrop that they keep getting, free money, build a giant mining facility that's multi-chain, and then just rug the Federal Reserve and go, bye, go fuck yourself. I know we owe you trillions of dollars, but what are dollars? We don't even know what dollars are anymore. Like, why would we give you all this hard money, proof of work currency, for that shit you used to fucking right click, copy, paste, and print out to give to us? What? We don't want to accept your fiat for this crypto. That's what the government's going to say to the Federal Reserve. At least I want that to happen so bad. Like, people don't realize that the Federal Reserve ain't shit but a fucking donut factory, and we are forced to use their donuts for money. That's it.
Federal Reserve ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. Or how's the song go? That's the dark. What is it?
Yo, you tripping, bro.
Ice Cube. Yeah. What does it say? Bitches ain't hoes.
I remember thinking that idea in 18 whenever Nicolas Maduro, the president of the Venezuela, he created a shitcoin called the Petro. And I remember thinking, I was like, why aren't the governments, instead of just making money out of the crypto they're seizing, why are they not doing something like that? And then it's just they're all in it together. Based on what I saw in March of 2020, they either force Trump or they had to one of those forced negotiation, give him one of those deals that he couldn't refuse, right? Because the way I see it, told them what was going to happen. If you go back to March 15th of 2020, all the bankers went to the White House, and there was some negotiation that happened that day. For us normies, all we saw was the banks and the president talking to the normies. But behind the scenes, I'm sure they did not go there to talk about the Easter Bunny. There was and obviously there was the start of the lockdowns and all that. But something was negotiated that day, because after maybe a couple of days later, the Fed went zero reserve, all the banks went zero reserve requirement. So they basically didn't even need reserves from the Fed. And maybe 5 months later, in the summer, they got to do crypto custody. Even though a lot of them didn't do it, and I don't know what happened there, but it was authorized by OCC. And then what I think that the Trump administration got out of the deal was putting Brian Brooks from Coinbase and Circle into OCC. And that's what I mean. To this day, I still think that basically he was hired to launch FedNow for the U.S. government. And FedNow is just USDC. I mean, it's basically the same system. You know, it's just one is run by Circle and one is run by the Fed.
I like Circle though. I do like Circle. It's
I do
weird
like
to
Circle.
say I like a fucking bank, but like I've met them at so many conferences. The founder,
Yeah, they're cool.
CEO, the people that work at the booth. I just met so many from the top down, bottom up of Circle. All good vibes. And then I've been to Money 2020
Yeah, no, I mean, like the
3
vibes
times.
are gonna be good.
Yeah.
You got to remember the tool is great. You know, the way the stablecoin works and the effects that it has, but it's just who uses it and for what purposes. You know what I mean? Because Circle could launch a token and then never freeze any accounts, never censor anyone and anything like that. But at the same time, if it's the same code, and again, it doesn't have to be the same code, but just, you know, USDC here, FedNow over here, you know, and then and then over here, this one, I mean, technically FedNow, we're not even going to interact with it. That's what I kept telling a lot of people. I was like, there's portion of that system that's already deployed, but since it's in like the settlement layer, you know, and we're not settling, you know, a couple $1 million or $1 billion per night, then we don't get to see that system. But technically it's out there. That's the other thing that I kept thinking in the last couple of days, like how the politicians keep trying to fight this CBDC coming directly from the Fed, even though Powell already said he doesn't want it or need it. But then the way they've passed these laws that for some reason nobody mentions them. That's the creepy part. I interact with a lot of attorneys around crypto, and then none of them mention this law that was passed in November of 2021. I mention it all the time, so the guys that are watching me right now are probably like, here he goes, mentioning this shit. But it's just in November of 2021, they passed this law called the IIJA, or the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or something like that. And on that law, the way they were going to collect the money for it was through crypto. And then they added that right in there. They said, all right, all the cryptos now are property. Basically, what they did in that law in 21 was that what they did for Bitcoin in 14. And, you know, instead of making a law for a digital currency or a digital commodity, they said, no, this is the property and that's it. We're going to say the property, and then we get it to tax it all these ways.
That's nice.
So yeah.
I was saying, so do you think that using Hex or Pulse, that somehow you could kind of, I mean, they could kind of use that for the economy, maybe kind of change things up, or use it to replace what we have now?
Well, I mean, not now, because right now, you know, we have like 50,000 validators, so we're growing. You know, we're way more decentralized than a lot of, you know, the layer ones, but we're not there yet, you know, to get that type of load. But eventually, I'm thinking that we're going to be attracting a lot of people that are pro DeFi, pro, you know, self custody, that are not agreeing with what the politicians are offering, because, like I said, we're not at Visa and MasterCard levels, but, you know, who is? You know, like, we're going to need a lot of layer ones to succeed on this game, you know, for DeFi to succeed. That's a good thing.
Well, you know, even if the U.S. doesn't want to look at it as a solution, there's like a lot of small countries, and I'm looking at like what Venezuela did and El Salvador, how they like adopted Bitcoin. They're like the Michael Saylor and the Jamie Dimon of like the nations that adopted Bitcoin. But just like everything else, as the cycle moved from like Bitcoin maxi adoption type stuff, we're seeing a lot of meme coin and altcoin, you know, shit coinery happening. Like the energy is really like anywhere but Bitcoin, and I do think that a lot of these, like, you know, altcoins, shit coins, meme coins, the nations that are out there, these smaller governments, these smaller countries, they're probably looking at these other low cap coins instead of Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same way individuals went, oh, Bitcoin's cool, but what's this dog with hat thing? I think countries are going to be looking at, like, you know, oh yeah, Bitcoin, that's the thing El Salvador did. We should probably do something different. What's this hex stuff? You know what I mean? Like, that is an option that is on the table, and if you look at cycles, this looks like it may be that cycle. Before Bitcoin gets more countries, I think other coins have opportunities to be the country's currency of choice. And I think Hex is up on the table of that conversation just as much as Litecoin, just as much as Ethereum. You know, Ethereum's probably going to be Russia's go-to. That's going to be their Bitcoin.
If they're thinking 5 years, 10 years down the road, I mean, like, we can offer something that Bitcoin can't offer. You know, because we can't guarantee price appreciation. We can't guarantee what the market is going to do, but we can guarantee that, you know, if you stake it, you're going to be earning that passive income. So I don't know what countries would understand that or how long it's going to take them. Because I admit it took us a long time, at least for me, to figure out, oh, wow, Hex is the tool. You know, and I get to decide 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 2 months. Because you don't have to. I know that there's that misconception that I know that Ken and I, we stake Cuatro Cinco. We went like crazy. Because we were thinking, you know what, if we can prevent our money to be affected from all this fiat fuckery for more than 10 years, then sure. But, I mean, you don't have to do that. You can stake for 1 day. You can stake for 5 days. And
I've been in crypto long enough to know if I could stake Bitcoin right now and make sure I can't touch it from my... I would do it. What do you mean? Like, if it was in Bitcoin's code, not like relying on a wallet, not relying on a hardware wallet, not relying on a third party, just built into Bitcoin as a BIP, Bitcoin Improvement Protocol layer, like, call it Bit 420, I don't care what you call it. Yeah, let me lock my Bitcoin up, please, because I suck at being diamond hands. You know what I mean? Like, bills come up and I always make up an excuse to spend money on a vacation, right? But yeah, I can't touch my Hex for like, what, 12, 11 years or something? It's been locked up since, you know, forever.
Right. And then at least once they can figure that out, like, all right, if they stake for this long, they can earn this much. If they stay a little longer, they make this extra bonus. So they might get this other yield. Some countries are going to need that type of system. I mean, something like Social Security would be great in a system like the way Hex stakes work, because you know that system is wrecked. You know they put money on Friday to take it out on Monday. So yeah, if they were to have a system like that that feeds itself, that, you know, it rebalances, but I don't think that many countries are going to think that. Many countries are probably going to just try to go for Bitcoin. And then, I mean, El Salvador is looking great now. The Bitcoin is back over 70, but how many years they were, that was a questionable move there. I mean, I'm glad that it's working out great for them. But my thinking is, if the bear market would have lasted a little longer, they would have probably gotten rid of Bukele. And now he's looking like a really good choice or a really good president. I think he just started his second term. But if you know what I mean, like if the price of Bitcoin would have been now like 30 or 40, and then he has to price all that investment at 50% down, he's not winning.
No, dude, that's really funny, that's really funny. To be like, imagine the candidates running, like, you know, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and whichever one's more profitable, that's the president people are going to vote for, right? Like, dude, that's kind of Black Mirror dystopian as fuck, but I'm here for it. Like, the degenerate political games, let them begin. All right, so here's the thing. I've been watching the Hunger Games through another perspective. I was at ETH Denver, and like everybody at ETH Denver looks like they're from like District 9 or whatever. Like that's the good district, right? With all like the fancy people. Yeah, they all look like they're from like the Ethereum Foundation up there in their fancy like rainbow unicorn onesies and shit, dude. I'm like, oh shit, all the different districts are just different shitcoin market caps. And like the Hunger Games. So I just been thinking like more along those lines of, damn, that's where we're headed. Like it's gonna be like, you know, pick the bags you want, because you don't want to be in like that weird shitcoin district, right? Like, you know what I mean? You want to be able to eat good and live good. So I don't know. It's just like looking at the Hunger Games with a crypto lens, and I was like, shit, dude, the Ethereum camp won. Like they have all their crazy hair, all the ones like the districts in Hunger Games look exactly like everybody at ETH Denver. It was really funny. But I do want to talk a little bit about Pulse and the difference between Ethereum and Pulse, and why Pulse is in existence, and why people may want to choose Pulse over Ethereum. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't realize that the smart contracts, the dApps, and all the opportunities that are on Pulse.
Right. So right now, Pulse Chain was created because in 2021, so shout out to RH for having the idea of launching Pulse, because some of us, we were just priced out. You know, whoever can handle 100 GWE, 150 GWE, more power to you. If you're building at those levels, even more, you know, hey, hats off. But some of us, we were priced out, and then we couldn't do anything on ETH. Those of us that we were staying, you know, because since we were done the ladder, stakes that were now at 6 months, 8 months, 12 months in 2021, some of them were burning, because then the GWE and the gas to end stake was so high that some of us, we just basically wasted a year on that stake, you know, because we ended up locking $100 or $150, $200 that now turned maybe into 2,000. But then the GWE, it was so high that it was costing 500, 300, 700, 800 to end stake, you know? So it was like, okay, so was it worth it to stake if the end staking or the gas or the, you know, the utility of ETH is to extract all that from my hex gains? So RH just decided to fork it, and ended up forking ETH. The gas now, I mean, the ratio from ETH to Pulse is like 1 to 1.1 mil. So obviously, you know, the gas is a little, you know, it's nice and cheap. Obviously, the days that it spikes, you know, there's activity on the chain, or someone's minting a ton of NFTs or something.
Does cheaper mean less secure? Like, is that what you? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people.
I don't think so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people that get into crypto, they like to justify the cost of like Ethereum being so expensive is because it's so secure.
Yeah.
That's why it's so expensive. If it's not expensive to use, you know, your blockchain, does that mean it's not as secure?
No, I mean, like right now we have, obviously we're not at ETH levels of validators, but we have 50,000 right now. So we're not at, you know, not to mention any names, but there's chains out there that they're very secure and they have less than 100, you know, validators, and they do the work and everything is. But
how the hell do I become a fucking validator, dude?
Oh, brother, like it's a 32 million stake of Pulse. So no, just 32 million units. Yeah. So right now, Pulse is super cheap right now. So I mean, I don't want to quote you, but maybe like 1 million is maybe like 50 something dollars. I haven't checked the charts in a minute. Awesome. But yeah, so it's not an incredible amount. We're assuming at one point it could be, you know, if Pulse just keeps going. But right now we're at like 4 zeros. So, you know, having 32 million units at 4 zeros, it's pretty affordable. And then there's even other options that are coming out right now where people are even pooling, so validating through. So maybe you only have 10 million
Fuck
units.
yes.
Maybe you only have like $2,000-3,000 worth of calls, and then you can still. I mean, people are creating a bunch of different cool things. Some people are mentioned. The person I mentioned, Alex from Heater, I mentioned that he wanted to at one point, not to commit him, because he had mentioned that maybe like a year ago that he was interested in forking Rocket Pool, and there's a few other things that people are trying to do, building in the network and facilitating. There's a couple people that dedicated themselves to even creating the hardware, so then you were paying them. So shout out to David Feeder, and then you were paying them, and then basically as long as you had your 32 million units that you get to keep, you're not giving them to nobody. And then, you're validating for yourself. You're making a little bit of yield.
That's cool.
I think I've heard some different numbers. I don't even want to mention numbers, but some people were mentioning double digits. So, a little over 10, or I'm not even sure if I heard a couple times over 15.
That's dope.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that
that's
the
incentivized? Yeah, Miggy, sorry about that, brother.
No, you're good.
No, you're
I mean,
good, bro,
actually,
bro.
what you were saying just kind of, I was gonna ask if that's caused you to notice, more people trying to do more stuff like dApps and games and NFT collections, really trying to build out the ecosystem.
There's a lot of people building right now. There's the last person that I heard mention building games was a Slime Whale. So I think he's doing something with like Squanch Games or and then a lot of people have been building. They've been building platforms or lending platforms. There's been, all kinds of different things they've been building. So that's a cool thing, because right now it's our bad time. Like, based on what I mentioned earlier about RH having the situation with the SEC and all that, kind of slow down.
Nah, dude, so does fucking Ripple and XRP, so does Coinbase. Yo, you literally ain't cool unless the SEC is like up your ass trying to get you to ejaculate with a little prostate tickle. You know what I mean, dude? It's crazy.
I think so too. I think, at this point, it looks like it.
It just makes Richard look more legit, honestly, right? Like, early when it first all started, it was like, oh, it looks like Richard's a scammer. The SEC's coming after him. And then everybody shut up real quick because the SEC came for everybody they like. Everybody they were fans of. All the shit they wanted to talk about. Now, all of a sudden, the SEC's coming for... And now nobody's a scammer if the SEC's coming after them. Because the SEC's coming after everybody. But I remember back, you know what I mean, dude? It's funny how the narrative changes. But it's like, again, it put him in that situation where he was one of the first through the door, gets the first, first shots. But now he's going to leave with that first credibility, like Coinbase, MetaMask. We just had MetaMask on talking about how the SEC. So many people are like, you know what I mean,
Binance
under that.
too, wow.
Binance, dude, CZ's in fucking prison for 4 months right now.
Shit, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like everyone's doing their dues right now.
And bro,
Richard
you should see what RH is doing, like every so often. Every so often, though, he's posting, because he didn't get 2 or 3 lawyers. He got 11 lawyers working on his case. So, like, at least once every 2 or 3 months, the lawyers are giving him an update, and then it magically shows up online, and then I've been checking out some of the stuff that they're doing. And you could tell they're putting overtime, because the case from Coinbase, the one from like last month, they're already including it in their case as a reference. So some people reference cases from like 30 years ago.
That's what I figured. That's what I'm saying. He's going to get a lot of clout from this because he was first in.
Bro,
he will be referenced the whole time.
Get them to pay the 11 lawyers. I think they're going to end up paying for the lawyers, just like they did in last week. Because what's happening now is, I think, at least through 2020 through 2023, like around the time that, remember, you kind of went away for a little bit. At that time, what they were doing is they were just sending all these notices, and people were just like, oh shit, can I cut a deal? And it seemed that everyone was just cutting a deal, getting some type of deal with the SEC, and they weren't even going to court. So they were just getting a deal and then paying a fine, and then like not admitting guilt or whatever. So they were some type of plea deal. I'm not sure what they were doing because I didn't get one.
Well, you know what? It really all started with EOS and their 2-year ICO. Remember, they did like a 2-year-long or 1-year-long ICO for EOS, and they made like, I think it was, I might be off by 1 or 2, but I think it was like $6 billion in ICO
I think like
money.
3. Yeah, like
okay,
3 or 4.
like three
Yeah,
or $4 billion though, and they only had to pay like $20 million in fines for raising
23?
$4 billion. Yeah, that's fucking ludicrous. So it all started with those motherfuckers, and then as soon as I think they saw how much money was left on the table, and like the joke was on like, you know, the SEC and everybody else, that is where I think they got a vendetta, and then they said, all right, we're gonna get all the money off the table this time. The joke's still on them because they're not able to. Like that's the part that sucks is they can take the people like Richard, but they can't take his money. He has to willingly give them his keys. You know what I mean? Like, they can't just walk into Wells Fargo and say, give me all of Richard Hart's money. Crypto don't work that way. Yes, they can take his body, but they cannot take his money. They have to get him to choose to give it to him. I think that narrative is definitely going to put the power in our hands as like individuals, as long as we stick together. That's why I'm saying, like, yeah, everybody wanted to call Richard a scammer when he got in trouble, and then everybody shut up when their favorite superhero got in trouble next, right? So now we need to know, like, they come for, you know, your neighbor, they come for your loved ones, they come for you type shit. Like, they're coming for you. Like, this is our last stand chance, man. Like, if we don't stand together this next couple of years, after this 5 years,
since November of 2021. Since November 2021, bro, the night that they passed this IIJA, and I'm telling you, I know that I repeat this over and over, but they had this 2 specific lines that they approved in that law that says every crypto is a property, every person needs to be a broker to deal with the crypto. My brain went to, these guys are killing DeFi. Because what I thought was, what they were trying to do is put a law there that says the dum-dums cannot touch DeFi. They need someone qualified, sophisticated, or accredited to touch the crypto. And then they were going to give all the custody to the banks. And I'm telling you, bro, like, I really, this is the, yeah.
No, we had consensus on the other day, and I even asked MetaMask themselves, would it be possible for the government to force a company to update their wallet? So say for some reason I use MetaMask and I don't back up my private key, could the app update and overnight I can't get to that private key because the option was taken away? No. And they're like, well, yeah, that's in this. Remember, what's his name? Matthew said, like, yeah, that could potentially happen. Like, it is a forcible option. Like, if the government stepped in and said, do this, I feel like the wallet companies would do it. So, like, back up your keys now, but there might be a chance where wallets, where you can't even get to your keys unless you do KYC. You submit your driver's license, your social, and now you whatever phantom wallet.
Just imagine what happened with Binance in 2020. Remember in Binance when they like all of us that we had Binance wallets early. So we were running the original Binance from like 2018 or whenever they launched. So all of a sudden they started. I remember they gave me like a year. And I think I moved the money like last week, like the last week available. And I'm so glad I did, because right after they kept telling me for like a year, don't worry, you don't have to move your money. And it wasn't, you know, like crazy amounts, but I would have been stuck, because all of a sudden I would have been still using Binance. But now I'm in the US. They blocked me from their interface. And then to verify and transfer the funds, it would have been chaos. You know, and then they were telling us, "Oh no, just keep the money." Oh, bro, like they were telling us, "Keep the money there, where you can use it as a wallet." But why the hell would am I going to use a centralized exchange as a wallet? All I care was that I wanted to use it to move money, and they were saying no. So the money was there locked for whoever sent money that way. And
I
that's
miss
happened to a bunch of
Binance,
people
my
now.
original Binance account, man, because I had that referral system going. And once somebody used your Binance referral link, you got like a fraction of every trade they made for life.
Transaction. Yeah.
Bro, I was up like 4 Bitcoin at the time, dude.
Really?
I might eventually, I just might move to motherfucking China and get a damn, just so I can get back into that account, dude. Like, I earned so much Bitcoin, and I just let it sit there. I was riding it out because it was like free money. And now it's like one of those bags I think about all the time. It's like, damn, my referral bag on Binance is huge.
I remember. I think I left like maybe $300. I think I left like half a BNB or something, because I remember BNB would let you like collect all the dust from all your trades.
If you look on Twitter, I pulled off like years ago. I pulled off like 2.5 or 2.1 Bitcoin when it was like 20K each. Because that's what I earned at the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, CZ used to follow me. When I took my hiatus, I lost a bunch of followers. But I'm going to grab that one back because, me and CZ go back. Dude.
I remember. Like, that was like, I thought that you were like becoming like little Binance, like fucking spokesperson. I was like, what the fuck is happening with the Bosak? He's like, so that's funny.
It wasn't so much like BNB I fucked with. I fucked with CZ.
I saw admin for you when you were like playing.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, when you started, like, what was that game that you were playing, like Destiny or something? I don't know.
Oh, Apex Legends.
Apex. There you go. God dang it.
I was actually playing that for about 1 hour before the podcast tonight, just to like wake up a little bit, get my energy flowing. I'm over here cursing at these little kids and shit, like, yo, pick me up, throw a grenade. And like, I don't know how. I'm like, hit the R1 button. Dude, I guess we're coming up close on the hour here, and I wanted to make sure we, is there any like updates or any info? Like, I saw that there's this one Sugarheads is doing stuff with their collection on Pulse. I just saw I missed their spaces earlier, but I want to go back and listen to the Sugarheads on Pulse Chain launch. And I have a bro that's doing the 404 Mon. Shout out to Alex.
That one. I forgot about them. Yeah, we interviewed them a little while ago.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is there any like things that like you're keeping your eye on that are like coming over the Pulse Chain that you want to shout out, or anything on the roadmap that you can talk a little bit about?
Well, like right now, shout out to the guys from the Tangerings. Like today, Friday, they have their Free Mint Fridays. So I know today they had one of the lady artists. They had one of the like the orangutan type art. That was pretty interesting. I wasn't there for a long, so I had to leave. And then on our side, what we're trying to do right now, it's not like launch, is not official yet. We're trying, but what we're trying to do right now is we applied for a Reg D exemption with the SEC. So as much trash as I talk about the regulators, I was thinking the other day, I was like, it would be funny if they have like a list of all the like the shit that I've talked the last 10 years and be like, yeah, we're declining you because of all this stuff that you've said. But yeah, we're seeing that there is a market, obviously, for the exchange traded products. We're seeing that what they had offered, at least for Bitcoin originally in the spot, it's not what is out there. So I know that a lot of people continue to call them spot, and they're just not. There's some type of cash crate that they agree with the regulators, and they even have a window, bro, of like 30 days. So imagine like you can like buy this Bitcoin at this price, sell it at this price, and then give it to the customer at a completely different price, and it's all legit. And they continue to say spot, and they continue to say it's only 21 million units, and it's like, no, bro, it's some rehypothecated derivative called Bitcoin ETF, but it's not Bitcoin. Yeah, so exactly. So
look into paper gold, and look what happened to gold.
Exactly.
That's,
exactly.
It's weird, but you have to look back to be able to see what's coming from the front, like coming forward. Like going forward, so look back at paper gold, and this is where we're at now with paper Bitcoin. Essentially, it sucks.
Can't you eat paper gold?
Like don't
they wrap food in that? Yeah, the paper, the gold sheets.
Oh, I think we lost
wanna eat paper
identity
Bitcoin.
block.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Wait, are we still live?
Yeah, we're live as far as I know.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
we're
I think you
live. It's
just
just
froze.
A little bit, you know.
There you
we
are.
go.
Oh, there you go. We got you back. Oh, now you're on again.
Yeah, it's
No.
not me. My internet looks fine on my end. And we're still live. Oh, nope, we did lose him. I mean, I guess we can kind of wrap things up. Oh, he's back.
Oh, there
All
he
right,
is.
I just wanted to give you a
Sorry.
chance to let people know. Oh, yeah, there I was going to say, where's the portal? I love the round view. Let people know where they can go to get in touch with you, join the Pulse Chain community, get involved if there's any way to get involved. And, do you have Telegram, Discord? What's up?
Yes, sir. Well, right now, the best way is probably through Twitter. So just Identity Block on Twitter. That's where I stream. I have my little channel too called Blockchain Trends. So
Nice.
we try not to, we don't steal anything. Like we try not to talk about anything, only calls or hacks, because they're launch products. They're out there. They, people get to decide if they want to use them or not use them. And then we try to focus a lot on, like I said, boring regulation, taxation. So I know it's a different conversation of the whole FOMO and FUD and how many X's are we going to make in the next 3 minutes. But I think it's important because, it's exactly what you were talking. Sorry, I lost you there for a little bit, so I didn't hear the last of what you were saying. But I agree with like almost every, like 99.9 of what you were saying, because that's exactly right. I think like the difference right now, it's going to be on the delivery. How do we get it? Because the politicians continue to focus on a fight, like a partisan fight of either is it Coinbase and Circle, or is it going to be Jamie Dimon and the banks? Who's going to run? They have this like illusion, I think, that they need to control the ecosystem. Almost like they had to control oxygen or my thoughts or something.
Right. It's like water and food. They're getting there.
Yeah,
they control
like,
land,
right.
they control water, they control food.
Yeah,
It's
so
almost there.
That's what we're seeing right now. And then on our side, that's what we're trying to focus. We applied this Reg D with the SEC we want to bring in a spot DEX traded product that is, it's one, it's going to be buying Pulse, one, it's going to be buying Hex. And that way, institutional investors we're just trying to bridge in a couple of, normies or no coiners into Pulse Chain. And then of course, once they're in, hopefully they learn about DeFi, they learn about other type of dApps and uses. And we're trying to educate mostly. So that's the reason, that I'm like trying to, I guess, after all these years of fighting the regulators, now it's like try to ask for an exemption in this. And then of course, if we pass the caps and all that, then we'll try to ask for the next regulations. But it's just, at least on my side, I noticed that the few groups or hedge funds that are getting approved, this is what they're doing. They're not just launching and then asking for forgiveness. They're asking for permission early, and then asking for the smaller exemptions. And then as you're as you pass the 10 million, as you do this, then you keep asking for other things. And that's what I noticed. It got really controversial because a couple of the groups that are doing it, they're just hiring like SEC employees that I'm assuming that they're just, they're telling them, all right, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to apply. And on our side, I was like, you know what, let's try to go, start in the lower levels. And then as long as there's a product there, people will decide, I think that once they approve these S1s for Ethereum, which I think will get approved probably by January of 25, then there'll be a bunch of different ones. So I want to make sure that the second that they approve the one for ETH, the next day I get ours approved, And then I think that ours, not to brag, of course, I'm gonna toot my own horn that ours is better, but I want to make sure that ours is spot, So to make sure that It's buying the units on the day at the price, not 30 days later, not at this price, and then sell you this other price, because then what's the effect? We want to make sure that it's affecting our so like I said, not we don't know if they're gonna approve it that way. They're gonna make us, wait longer or go through more hoops. But we're gonna try. I think that's the best way that I can serve DeFi right now. If I can at least make sure that the money that's coming in, it's buying at its spot. We'll see how that works. So right now we got like the first, commentary back from the SEC. So they said it could take up to like 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll see how that works.
Oh, nice.
Like right now, we're already in like the first like 2 weeks. So hopefully it's more like in the next 2 to 4 weeks. So.
Oh, it's awesome.
So how
That's
can
exciting.
people accumulate Pulse Chain and Hex and all this stuff? Like, where can we go to like swap and accumulate? What dexes, sexes, and swaps?
Well, me personally, I go through Pulse X. So on our side, a lot of people are either going through the bridge, or some people are going through this application called Change Now. There's a couple of new other applications that are getting, listed. But then the problem, of course, is just the jurisdictions. So right now the issue that we're having is that, since again, we're not to blame everything on the regulators, but since there's that situation, not many exchanges are trying to, list Pulse or Hex. So we're thinking that what's going to happen is exactly what happened with XRP. The second that, the judge seals that, that case, and then it's closed, then all of a sudden 3 or 4 will start listing, and then and we'll see what happens. The last communication that I had was probably this week. We tried to get in contact with PayPal because we know that they're trying to deploy PYUSD onto like all their EVMs. Like you could tell that they're trying to, bro. They're trying to take a chunk of the stablecoin pie because they're understanding that the banks are not doing it, and Circle and Tether are freaking printing, basically printing money. So they're just, you could tell that they were like, all right, let's launch PYUSD, and then they launched it maybe whatever many months ago. And just recently they did that. They just said, hey, get in touch with us. And then what I did, we, through the Pulse Chain Foundation, we gave them like a nice 5-step plan, how to bring it in. And then basically what they would do is just, they would launch instead of a ERC20, a PRC20, and then it would just be traded. They would have their own pools or whatever. But then that's a way to, get in and out, because then you could, get into PayPal, then PayPal swaps into Pulse Chain. And so yesterday I just sent it to like a bunch of people in the community, just like, guys, they told me that they're available, so let's go and send them as many emails as possible. So I just gave them like a little, like, hey guys, nice redacted emails. We're nice users from Pulse Chain. We wanna, and we'll see how that works, because I already seen them deploying in a couple of EVMs. And it's going to be easy for them. They already have the tech, they have the idea, they have the money, they have the pool. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, that's fucking
for
legit,
now,
dude. For real.
Awesome.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
just that if you go to certain exchanges, they're always trying to like ask you for money or this or that or the other. And I was like, well, I don't want them to have money to then be dumping on us.
Right.
Why don't someone
it
that...
just creates sell pressure that you can't compete with, and you just have to wait for it to stop.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll see what happens with them. Like right now, like I said, I sent the original email from the Pulse Chain Foundation, and then I was like, all right, guys, send a couple of them and just say, hey, we're PayPal users, and it should be nice and easy. The other ways is, like I said, if you have already, the one that I found the cheapest way is Change Now, because Change Now lets you swap from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and onto Pulse. So for example, as long as you already have your wallet set up, your RPC settings for Ethereum, all you need to do is just load your RPC settings for Pulse Chain. Load the chain ID, and then you're gonna use wallets. So as long as you're using that tool, so you're either going through the Pulse Chain bridge or you're going through one of those, Me personally, I've been using Change Now because it's the one that I found, a little cheaper. So I get to control, if I'm putting in $100, then I'm getting, like $98 worth of pulse on the other side or something like that. And yeah, it's been working. And then once you have the pulse in your wallet, then you switch to RPC. You're in the Pulse Chain network, and then you get to swap. So you connect to Pulse X, and after that, you get to swap. You can swap your pulse for Hex, and after that, you would learn how to stake it and all that good stuff. I don't like to give like the whole, because it's such a long explanation and all the steps. So what we've been trying to do is like every weekend. So if you guys are available tomorrow, you guys could see what we're doing. We're launching a space. So every weekend we say it's going to be like 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then we're there for like 3 hours. But just teaching everyone, So if you I have all the time in the world, guys. So that whole I'm an expert. I can't do it. I know I help as many people as possible because that's how I got wrecked a couple of times, by not knowing the super basics. And then I was like, man, if there was someone there that took the time and taught me how to do this and that and the other. And for me, well, that was, guys like Kenn, guys like Richard, that they would just put free content. Like I still remember Bosak. The first video that I remember watching from Kenn was a recorded one from your BitConnect video, your original, when you were like, this is Bosak talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories, and then BitConnect's a scam, and I was like, this dude is different. Like I thought I thought you were gonna like chill it or something. It was like a clickbait. But after that, I was hooked watching Bosak because I was like, all right, this is the guy I want to watch because you could tell that he's. And then of course the situations that you had in New York a couple of times with what was that guy's name, Jorg or whatever.
Oh, first one was Sean Kurtz, and then the second guy I called out was Jorg Malt, and then all of them went to jail eventually for being scammers. So
I didn't know that.
I wasn't wrong.
That's hilarious.
I was just early.
That's just shit, bro. That's so funny. Like I still remember, like Bosak all of a sudden goes live, and I used to get like his notifications right away, and all of a sudden, like his phone is like going like this. He's like, "You don't even know me," and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck! Like what? Oh okay. What's going on? What's going on?" Like that was fun. So when you used to do like your impromptu lives of with your pub or stuff like that. It was sometimes.
That's fun. I wish I would have been there.
Me too,
Need
man.
more
But
of
you're
those
gonna
times.
be there
bro, that's like
you'll be there for the next one.
Yeah,
that was
need more of those
2018,
times.
bro. We're like, that was like super sucky times for me because it was like as I was like telling everyone like how great crypto was and all this stuff. Like the chart is just like going like this, and I remember like I was gonna go on like an EOS presentation back in October of 18 because that was like right after the hurricanes, and then Brock and the guys from EOS, they were going around the island doing this thing called Restart Week, and. Oh, bro, 2018 was horrible. But I remember by the time I went to Puerto Rico, everyone was just like asking me, like, what's up with this crypto thing? Like, Bitcoin was like just like crashing 5, going to 3, because then it went to like 3K by December. And I just remember like feeling like crap that time when I went to the island because it seemed like everyone that I had told them about crypto for the last 3-4 years, and I would finally pump in at the end of 17, and then they were like, "So, what's up, Mr. Crypto Man?" Oh, dude. Yeah, 18 and 2020 would have been probably the same for me if I hadn't been in Hex. But I remember like at that time, RH had already launched Hex, and then I was like, all right, F it. Like I'm not even gonna look at Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin crashed like to 3K in March, we were in like a different world, bro. Because like March was when we got like one of our biggest whales. So those of us that already had like a couple G's in Hex, bro, like the bag just went freaking crazy. You know, like it started pumping. And that's when I was like, oh, so if this thing hits like 1 penny, I'm gonna make like all these like X's. Like, okay. So we were thinking like we could hit a penny probably around this time. Okay, I didn't think we would hit a penny in 21. So like it seemed like all the moves that I was making in X was thinking that, thinking 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And when that thing hit a penny, bro, and then all of a sudden it was like this huge effing bags locked. It was like, what did I do? Because I remember at that time, like Kenn had already locked his and all that stuff. So I remember thinking,
I never had that moment though. Like, what did I do? Honestly, it's like really for real peace of mind. Even if it's worth like 10% of what it's still I got it coming to me no matter what. It's there.
Right.
Like
that's the thing that calmed me down though, because it's like basically what I was able to do was all the Ethereum that I was converted into X. We would call it transforming. All that probably early.
Oh shit!
20s.
I just realized we're over time on the podcast. We got to wrap it up.
Let's go,
guys.
bro. Let's do it,
Oh
bro.
yeah. Ooh.
Miggy, you're usually good at that shit. We're like 10 minutes
listening
over
to
the
the
hour,
story.
man.
Oh shit! Sorry about that, guys.
No, we
I
got to
just
get you
ran
back
here
on the
all the time, but-
podcast. Can I send you the link and you can
Yeah.
just book
No,
another
bro.
day? Because it would be dope to get you back
Yeah,
on.
of course. Let's do it, bro.
We spent a lot of time on like the origin stories and stuff like that, but it would be
Yeah,
good to
sorry about that.
Now that we got not
No,
even
that's
sorry. We just
awesome.
once we got that out of the way, now the next podcast could be a lot more chopping it up.
Let's do it, I mean.
Yeah.
All right, go check out Identity
So much
Block
fun.
over on X, everybody. Check out Pulse Chain. I want to see what you guys think.
Pulse.
I saw the Sugarheads. I know they're doing stuff. And 404 Mon, that's my bro. I want to check out some of his stuff he's got going on over there as well. But I saw, there's stuff cooking on Pulse Chain. Go check them out. Give Miggy a follow. It's Miggy Crypto Live,
Sir.
right? Miggy Crypto Live?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, give him a follow. Give Identity Block a follow as well on X. Shout outs to everybody, including the sponsors. Thank you, Asvoria. Thank you, Fayo. Everybody for
Thanks,
watching.
Mexicans.
Have
Go
a
support the Mexican
day.
family.
Shout out to the Mexicans.
Peace.
Bye.
Get some pulse.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Kenn Bosak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Kenn Bosak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Kenn bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're 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 gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Kenn Bosak.
Yo, what are you still doing here, bro? You guys should, like, share, retweet, comment, like, do that stuff. Have a day.